Welcome back, guys. This is Pradeep Kumar from Department of CSC, AJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, Mangaluru. So we were discussing IP Internet Protocol with respect to IoT. So in the last session, we have covered some of the topics related with 6-dish and authentication encryption on constraint nodes with some of the metrics that should be followed. And then we discussed profiles and compliances with the several aspects. And then we brief a little bit over this transport layer, and we try to cover some of few topics, few points we discussed in the last class. So today I'm trying to elaborate a little bit more on these topics, the transport layer and rest of the application methods, as these are the very important topics under IoT is concerned with. When we say the application protocols for IoT, the major part come to picture is transport layer. So where the transport layer is look after all these kind of networking and the data transmission and reception. So with respect to transport layer, these are the major application protocols for IoT. So as we listed out, transmission control protocol or TCP, user datagram protocol or UDP, application layer protocol not present, SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition, generic web-based protocol, and IoT application layer protocols. So we'll see each of them in detail. So out of which first two, that is TCP and UDP, you are very much familiar with, but still we'll try to discuss or try to recall few of the concepts of TCP and UDP. So rest of things we will cover in detail. So coming to the first part, transmission control protocol, that is TCP, the main thing or main part comes to picture is it is connection oriented, or on the other hand circuit switched. So if you are saying circuit switched network, it is circuit switched and connection oriented protocol. So in this case, what happens is before transmitting anything from source to destination, there should be a connection should establishment. There should be a live connection establishment, or we can say a session should be get ready. Session should be established from source to destination before starting exchange of data. On the other hand, we can say a dedicated path from source to destination must be ready before sending any data towards the destination. As a best example, we can say a traditional telephone connection or traditional landline telephone connection is the best example for TCP, transmission control protocol, because end to end line connection, landline connection is established before connecting to the other end. Say if your friend is calling from the other end via landline, there should be a line or landline dedicated connection oriented establishment should happen before transmission, before performing the conversation. That is what TCP is for. And UDP, coming to UDP, it is connectionless. The second one, UDP, user datagram protocol, UDP. It is connectionless protocol, or on the other hand, we can say it is a user datagram protocol. In this case, there is no dedicated path which is set before the transmission of data or reception of the data, and there is no guarantee of delivery because there is no dedicated line. There is a major part. With respect to when compared with the TCP, there is a dedicated line so that we can guarantee that the data is whatever the data is sent, that is to be delivered properly. But with respect to UDP, user datagram protocol, you can't guarantee, or we can't, there is no guarantee at all of the reception of the data in the receiver's end. But on the other hand, it is a traditional mail delivery system. Traditional. from days long is a traditional mail delivery system. So that is, for example, a normal mail that we send through post offices in India, if we can say post office network. So we can send a traditional mail in that, but there is no guarantee that it is delivered. However, you are saying that you are sending the letters. Only when the receiver sends the acknowledgement for the reception, then only we can say there is a confirmed delivery of the data. But in this UDP, it is not at all available. So now coming to in this case, with respect to networks, we have some terminologies: DNS, domain name system, network time protocol, NTP, or simple network management protocol, SNMP, or DHCP, dynamic host control protocol, or for real time data traffic, or real time in the sense like voice and video over IP, voice over IP. In these cases and all, performance and latency are the major factors that is to be considered. When we say DNS, domain name system, is very much familiar with. Why DNS, domain name system, came? Because every server designated by the IP address, internet protocol address, it is very difficult to remember. Instead of that, we supposed to maintain a table. We, in the sense, the server is supposed to maintain it. A service provider server should be maintained with the table, where for each IP address there should be a designated name. So we will type name in our URL, browser's URL. So that is how the DNS works. Whenever you type something, say google.com, the backend, a connection must be established. Then the request has to send. After that, against the google.com, our browser will search for sufficient name, sufficient address in the backend server. So if there is an address available, then it will connect to that server. That is how DNS works. So with respect to UDP, the data is measured in the form of datagram. With respect to TCP, we will measure in the form of packets. That is the general things related with that. But coming to the IoT part, Internet of Things part, both this transmission control protocol and user datagram protocol, both can be used as a combi, as a transport layer protocols, any one or combination. On the other hand, we have dedicated application protocols. We'll see that part later. The next one is application layer protocol not present. So in this case, application layer protocol not, there is no dedicated application layer protocol. That particular entire layer or top layer is removed. So directly the data itself collected from the physical layer through MAC is transmitted the transport layer and directly moved to the server. We will see in detail about this one. Then coming to the supervisory part, supervisory control and data acquisition, SCADA, one of the very important concept with respect to networks, and is most common in industrial protocols. SCADA is most common with respect to industrial protocols in the world. But however, it is developed long before, long before the invention of IP or usage of IP. Later on, it is adopted for IP networks because of its very good usage. That is what a SCADA is for. So we'll see in detail. So with respect to SCADA, we'll have a supervisory control. With the supervisory control, data can be accessed and collected and stored in the server side. So coming to generic web-based protocols, there are some of the protocols which is specific to a web-based versions. For example, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and nowadays we can say 4G, LTE, or 5G. Nothing but it is consumer and enterprise centric. On the other hand, consumer, as we are the normal users, we are using these techniques or generic web-based protocols. On the other hand, it is enterprise class as well, so that IoT devices can communicate over non-constrained network. It can be communicated easily. Generic in the sense ready-made, you can say on the other hand. Easily we can borrow and we can use it. Then we have IoT application layer protocols. With respect to IoT application layer protocols, there are dedicated application layer protocols with respect to IoT as well. Because to run with the constrained nodes along with the small computing capability as a tiny computer and well adapted to the network, say bandwidth strength as well. So we may suppose to use 6 LoWPAN. LoWPAN in the sense wireless private area network which consumes less power or low according to RPL, similar to it is RPL, private area network with IP6, and MQ2TT, message queuing telemetry transport, and we have constrained application protocol COAP. We'll see in detail about all these. Okay, so with respect to the IoT application layer protocol as the last part, there are dedicated application layer protocols which helps for our tiny computers or small computers with higher bandwidth, supports very good network capability via using MQTT and COAP and so on. So this is well suited with IoT. So that is about the different application protocols for IoT. So these application protocols are dealing with the within transport layer. Clear? Okay. Now we'll move on to different IoT application transport methods. Coming to the transport methods, we have application layer protocol not present. That means there is not at all application layer protocol. The data payload itself will directly transported to the on the top of lower layers. Lower layer in the sense, say physical, after that MAC. So from physical layer directly the transport layer itself acts as application layer protocol. So there is no dedicated part, automatically stored to server. That is application layer protocol not present. Second one is SCADA. It is most common in industry right now, and it is well suited with or adapted for IP networks. So initially, however, this SCADA is introduced before IP is introduced to the market, but at that time, this was not that much uh, covered in the area of network and as an application transport method. But later on, this SCADA is adapted for IP networks. Then we have generic web-based protocol, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, 4G all these, and several other IoT application layer protocols. This is specific to application transport methods. So in the last part, we have discussed about different application protocols for IoT. So with respect to that, not only these four, along with this, we can have TCP and UDP as well. So the last part 4 is dedicated for IoT application transport methods. We'll see in detail one by one. So we'll start from the first, that is application layer protocol not present. So in this case, application layer protocol not present in this case. So we have a data broker from one end. So we'll start from the bottom level, say bottom to top or low level to higher level. Please follow my cursor together with the slide. So in the lowest level, we have a IoT data broker. On the other hand, these are nothing but sensors. So these sensors are in the ground level, say physical layer. So with respect to this physical layer or in the ground level, each sensors Please observe sensor X, sensor Y, sensor Z. Each sensor will identify the data, that is sensed data, and send to decoder. So here decoder's part is to decode the sensor data, which is understandable in this IoT data broker layer. For example, what it happens is, consider an example of temperature data. So here we took a similar example, temperature data. So temperature data can be read in the form of Fahrenheit or Celsius, as we know. But most of the sensors in the market, the sensors read the data in the form of either Fahrenheit or Celsius. But if we want to convert that Fahrenheit into Celsius, then there is a need of conversion, saying that you're supposed to multiply into 32, then subtract by 50, then you'll get the temperature in Celsius. So those particular conversion is managed by this particular decoder. So decoder's job is to convert it into the understandable structure. On the other hand, IoT data broker, whatever we say over here, it is a piece of middleware that standardizes sensor output into a common format retrieved by authorized applications. That is what we can say. So with respect to that, we have three sensors over here in this particular diagram: sensor X, sensor Y, sensor Z. Sensor X with respect to temperature is, there is 2-byte coding. Sensor Y you can say 4-byte coding. Sensor Z you can say 8-byte coding. So here whatever the byte coding that we represented, so this is the data whatever is received by the sensor X, that is in the form of 2-byte coding level. This is in the form of 4-byte, this is in the form of 8-byte coding level. But whatever may be the byte coding level, so that must be converted to understandable format by these particular applications. So now IoT data broker, please observe here dashed lines as a box. The IoT data broker's job is to work as a middleware, like a middleman. So what it will do, it will standardize the sensor output, common format, it will convert into common format. So whatever the format the data it is received from the lower end, that will be converted to understandable format or common format by all these decoders. So IoT data broker just look after about this data conversion into common format. So once that standardized format is ready, then through API directly it's sent to application. You see an example. For example, in a class, if we set up a temperature monitor, so temperature sensor will sense the data. Then the decoder's job is to convert it. Once it is converted directly, I'll send to the application. Application in the sense I'll display in the monitor. I'll have a display monitor. So I'll directly display it. So in this case, there is no application layer at all. There is no dedicated front end. Directly we are going to display the data, whatever it is, whatever we converted as a standardized format. That is what application layer protocol not present. This is one of the application in an industry, in IoT industry, where there is no dedicated front end or dedicated UI is not used, so that we are reducing the burden of application layer itself. So we are directly consuming the data which is dealt by data broker itself. So data broker's job is something like a middleman to look after all these conversions from one format to another format, and whatever format it is received by the data broker as a standard format, that is directly displayed or directly utilized in the application. So this is application layer protocol not present. So any clarification on this? One more thing is, there is no intermediate storage or something like that. You can directly transporting the data payload without structured network or without without storing intermediate level in directly sending it. So major challenging in this part is development, interoperability, development of proper decoding structure, and evolution. Evolution in the sense, for example, with respect to sensor, capacity of the sensor and specification of individual sensors, there will be a change in the decoder level as well. Based on that, we has to manage. So that is one of the challenge. Second one is developing these particular standardized format. For example, converting temperature to Fahrenheit to Celsius. So we have a dedicated formula to convert it. Similarly, to deal with the similar kind of sensors in the lower level, in this particular lower level, physical level. So that is one of the challenge. And IoT data broker, as a data broker or a middleman or a middle layer, it has to look after all these conversions, as there is no specific structured data model, or there is no specific application to look after all these, just to consume it in the individual applications. That is how application layer protocol not present. So any other things? Okay, we'll discuss next topic with the SCADA.